Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Hashtag Toe to Toe. I'm Andy Scott and this week I'm joined by Spencer Fearon and Carl the Cobra Froch. Carl, great to see you. We've been sent some questions from the public that I'm going to put to you and Spencer. So let's get it underway. The first one from AC, which is at Feeling United. How many people were at Wembley?
I'm sure it was 90,000.
Oh, really? 90,000?
It's gone up then, it's gone up.
Someone's going to try and emulate that soon. See if they can match the record.
No, but I heard
really?
that you got a clicker.
It was 80,000.
80?
Yeah.
Oh, very deep.
Okay, let's get this underway. The second one, Rich Evans. Out of the current crop of super middleweights, who would be the biggest danger to you in the ring? Let's say in your prime as well. Who would be the biggest danger?
What now? The
active super middleweights.
The biggest danger to me at the minute. I think the division's it's wide open at the minute. If you look at James DeGale and then Badou Jack, you know, George Groves might be fighting for the WBA title. There's nobody there really that concerns me. So in terms of danger, there's nobody that I'd say, right, he's the biggest danger, because they're all quite level pegging. I mean, Jack and DeGale are quite closely matched. George Groves is going to be fighting for a WBA title soon. He should win that. And then we've got a few people coming through like Callum Smith and, you know, and no one worries me, I've got to be honest. No one's a big danger.
Well, I'm going to put it to Spencer then. Who would have been the biggest danger?
The biggest danger, I think.
The current fighters.
The current fighters. Calm down now. What you give me that look? You give me that look for? Calm down, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, easy. See, easy. It's only question two.
Yeah, no, because the guy buys Christmas presents for my kids. He started to look like he's some wicked man. Now, I would say on point James DeGale. I think because the movement could give you, I think could give you a little bit of trouble.
But what happens when that lands?
What lands?
Push on the chin.
All right,
sitting on the ropes, tucking up, doing nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd do that with you, because I think he'd feel. I think he'd feel your strength and think that he has to know that he'd have to hit and hop it, and I think that he'd put his ego to.
He ain't got the engine for 12 rounds.
No, I don't think it's the engine. I just think he'd put his ego to one side, because sometimes this ego where he wants to stand and trade. I think he'd know, because of your physical strength, that strong strength of the Cobra. You know what I mean?
It's getting weird now,
Ned Stark's son. Yeah, I just think he would hit and hop it. He would give you the most trouble.
Okay, let's get this one from Matt Ports. Which of the classic Brits would you have most wanted to face? Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, Joe Calzaghe, or Steve Collins?
Nigel Benn, just because
style-wise.
They come and fight and they stand in front of me and have a fight, and I could box and move, and then when I wanted to, I could stand and have a fight with them. I'm not going to give you a prediction because
you're respectful.
That's right. There's been great fights.
Any of them would have been great fights.
Chris Eubank, quite a stylist, but him as well. You can't hurt him. The guy's too tough. Calzaghe's very tough as well. I mean,
yeah, that would have caught the imagination as well, wouldn't it?
That's a fight that got away, really. But
Spencer, Tommy Ellison asks, who wins out of James DeGale and Triple G? Let's say that one's at super middleweight as well, so Triple G would have to go up in weight.
Right, I've said on numerous occasions that I believe that James DeGale's style would beat Triple G, and people thought I was joking, but we saw 2 weeks ago now the style of Danny Jacobs gave him trouble. I think James DeGale would have to be very, very disciplined, because he'd have to hit and hop it, and I believe that if he did do that, he could give Triple G a lot of trouble. I can't say now that he'd win the fight, but before I was adamant that James DeGale could win the fight. If James DeGale can return back to former peak that he's been showing, then I believe that James DeGale could beat him.
Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Triple G is a middleweight, and size matters in boxing. James DeGale's taller, he's got a longer reach, and he's got them skills.
Yeah.
And all right, he's not going to hurt Triple G, but he's going to hit him often and keep that movement. And Triple G's never boxed at 12 stone. 168 pounds is a middleweight, he's not a super middleweight.
And we saw him against a bigger guy, a physically bigger man in Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs came in deliberately heavy in that fight, so he must have been about 180 going into that fight, and we could see he couldn't really handle it. So I think, and James DeGale's a bigger guy than Danny Jacobs, then I would think James DeGale slightly.
Okay. Good answer. Dan Frost says, guys, a lot of Rio Olympians have turned pro, but who's the most promising? What do you think, Carl? Who has caught your eye?
Most promising Rio Olympians?
Promising? Well, Katie Taylor, because she's incredible. That's it. That's Katie Taylor, as Donald, our producer, keeps on saying, that she's a female equivalent of Lomachenko. I totally agree with that. But I was impressed on the weekend with Lawrence Okoli. even though I don't think he should hit the guy.
Short and sweet one.
Yeah, it was short and sweet.
Yeah,
I like that.
That last punch, you could have left him alone, couldn't he?
Would you have done that in your day?
No, on your pro debut, you let the shots go until the guy's on the floor. You don't really. There's no mercy, is there? But
you used to be very merciful in your early when you started off.
Yeah, I've stopped hitting opponents when I know the referee's about to jump in. But when you get to world title fights, you can't really take that risk.
It's easy watching from the outside, though, wasn't it? That's a split-second thing. I don't think there's an opportunity for the referee even to jump in there. But
Lawrence Okoli looked very skillful to me. He did look skillful, but at the crop, Katie Taylor by far.
And Nicola Adams is turning pro.
But she hasn't fought. But she hasn't fought yet, though.
It'd be very interesting, won't it?
Yeah, she will be. Well, she's being trained now by Virgil Hunter, who our dear friend Carl has been up against in competition. But she's being trained by Virgil Hunter now. So
Andre Ward's trainer.
Yeah. So fair play to her from leaving here and going out there trying to say, well, I'm going to find one of the best trainers, and he's a very good trainer.
Okay, Geraint Pascoe, Linares versus Garcia. Do you think we'll see it, and who wins?
Have
a go.
Listen.
That's just
both of them are 3-week world champions, right? Both of them are 3-week world champions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I like Garcia. Seriously, Linares is superb, but there's certain times where he seems susceptible to get hit by shots, especially left hooks. And I just like how Lazatican. How Garcia just blitzed him. To me, Garcia is the man as far as I'm concerned, and I think that he'll take care of Linares.
I was sat close to the ring when
you were there for both of them, were you not?
Yeah, when
he commentated.
Linares fought twice, but when Garcia boxed Mikey Garcia, when
you were over there,
yeah, in Vegas, when he made his comeback fight after having his big rest, and he just sounded and looked so strong and solid. His punch power, I think, is going to be the telling factor in the Linares fight. And I know Linares. He likes to polish his work and have a look at it and move. The more you attack him, the more he'll work and the more damage he'll do to you. If you sit back and try and box, he'll happily just win the fight in front. But the more you press him, the more work he'll do. But Garcia's got that power and he's got speed as well. And I always think speed and power. If someone can punch, I always put the puncher in front of the slickster and the skillster, because I always think if you've got a puncher's chance, like with Anthony Crolla at the weekend, unfortunately against Linares. From round 6, you could see he didn't have much of a chance of winning purely because of the lack of punching power. If he couldn't close the gap and get to him without working, how else are you going to beat him if you can't knock him out? It's almost mission impossible.
24 rounds that we saw of him against Crolla, and they were great.
Yeah,
weren't they?
Good fight.
Listen,
really
Crolla,
good.
let me tell you this now. Anthony Crolla is a soldier. What a heart. What a heart. Because you know what? What was it, 7th round he got knocked down, right?
With the uppercut.
You were the uppercut.
He came out and won round 8.
Exactly. A lot of other guys would have thought, oh, well, you know what, I've given me best, and like, Joe pulled me out, and he never. So, maximum props. True British grit, my friend.
Definitely.
Paul Altai, hopefully I'm saying that right, Paul. Lomachenko, Garcia, Flanagan and Linares in a lightweight tournament. How does that go? That'd be great, wouldn't it, if they could... we're living in dream world here, but that would be great, wouldn't it?
It is.
Adding Lomachenko and Flanagan into
I'm glad that Flanagan's name's being called, because for some strange reason his name's not, but he should have a bigger profile. I really rate the guy. Was he 32-0? He hasn't got a big knockout ratio. Was it 13 knockouts? But he's got skills in abundance. And he's very, very learned, and like he does little methodical things like to set up traps when he fights. I like how he'll shuffle over. I rate him. I really think he's a very, very good fighter. But when Lomachenko's something else, and he's something special.
Yeah,
Lomachenko he's out of
those YouTube videos, the glitch in the Matrix and stuff like that. I mean, he is unbelievable to watch, isn't he? So who are you picking?
Oh, it's a tough. You know what? We're British. Flanagan take care of all of them, man. That's right. That's how I'm rolling. You better back me up on this one, right?
We got Lomachenko, Garcia, and Linares. I mean, I'm putting them two at the top, and these two in the bottom too. But a tournament like this, I mean, similar to the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, where you've got 5 fighters, all fighting, well, 6 fighters, Super 6. There's a giveaway. All fighting each other. It'd be nice for something like that to happen again.
It would.
But unfortunately, I don't think it ever will happen again.
Well, it was great to watch. Last question from Lewis Miller. Who would win between O'Hara Davies and Josh Taylor, and who has a brighter future at £140? Spencer?
Why are you coming to me first? What kind
Be
of
careful.
Sneaky,
Proceed with caution.
You've seen the dramas that I've had. No, me and O'Hara's we're cool. I like Josh Taylor. I think he's very, very talented. I think he's incredibly talented, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one because O'Hara Davies knows how to sell a fight, and in boxing you need characters. And he definitely is a character, right? And he can punch. And Josh Taylor, is still embryonic stages in his career, still embryonic stage in O'Hara's career. It's a hard one because before I'm thinking Josh Taylor, and then after it I'm thinking O'Hara Davis. Seriously, on this one I want to sit on the fence, but I don't want to be a punk here. So Carl's looking at me, the way you give me that look for, right? Carl's giving me that look, no, make a decision. I'm not too sure.
I'm just sitting right on that fence for Spencer, because it's one of them fights you can't really pick a winner.
It's busy up on that fence, isn't it?
So who
Sitting
would you
up
think,
there.
Andy, just before who would you
It's
go
a difficult
for?
one to pick that.
It's hard.
Because what's going to happen is Josh Taylor's going to beat him on points, or Davis going to get to him and hurt him, bang him out.
Obviously, I'd love to give my opinion, but that's all we've got time for this week, Spencer. So thank you for joining us on Hashtag Toe to Toe. Make sure you join us for the full podcast and tune in next week.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.